Now, on this programme yesterday, we heard from a woman who was racially abused on the Elizabeth line. The video of the abuse has been viewed millions of times. Sadly, though, she's not alone. Over the summer, we've learned that hate crime has spiked, which is why there are calls for children as young as 5 to be educated about people's differences. Our political reporter, Susana Mendonça, has more.
Raise your hand if you feel fully confident about your critical thinking skills.
They're learning how to disagree agreeably. This project, funded by the Mayor of London, is teaching teenagers to challenge racism and intolerance in their communities.
It doesn't come from a place of understanding most of the times. It comes from a place of misinformation and disinformation, and it leads to a lot of unjustified hatred and unjustified anger.
Through discussion, I think it's allowed us to understand better.
But we should be starting this kind of education with children as young as 5, according to the man running this scheme.
We know that the earlier they have those critical thinking skills, the more they can protect themselves from being exploited by some of the extremist narrative we're seeing out there, and all of that leads to a reduction in hate crime.
Hate crime is any incident that's motivated by prejudice or hostility against a person because of their race, religion, sexual orientation or disability. There were more than 21,000 hate crimes recorded in London in the year to the end of August. That's actually a fall of around 17% on the previous year. But if you look at the months of June, July and August, there was an above average spike in incidents with more than 2,000 hate crimes recorded in each of those 3 months. In Golders Green, which has a large Jewish community, there's been a recent spate of attacks on synagogues and schools.
I've always felt totally at home being Jewish and being in London, never a problem, but now I find I'm looking round and I'm a bit more careful about where I go, who I might talk to.
The local MP, who's also a justice minister, says politicians need to ramp down the rhetoric.
There are too many politicians in our society who are grasping for the easy slogan, the quick win and scapegoating, and the role of government is to show leadership. We're investing in community cohesion, we're investing in education in our schools to teach people about anti-Semitism, about Islamophobia, how to recognise and tackle it.
Recent protests have pushed questions about social cohesion up the agenda, as have comments from Reform UK about migrant workers and President Trump's false claims this week about London and its mayor. On the Haringey Ladder, diverse groups live side by side in an area that's home to a large Turkish and Kurdish community. The council leader is worried about anti-Muslim sentiment.
I'm the child of immigrants. My parents are Turkish, they're Muslim. They came to this country in the 1950s and 60s, and the impact on people like them and people in this area is absolutely enormous. People are scared. They're scared to go out on the streets. They're scared for their children, and they're scared for what this means for the future, for what it means for our wonderful, diverse, cohesive city.
Local people here have mixed views.
It heightens fears for people that are born and bred in England, but also on the flip side, people that have come and are willing to work, they're essentially discriminated against because of the way they look.
This London Assembly member says the real problem isn't being properly addressed.
I think the government should not be clamping down on free speech, because free speech is what makes our democracy. But what they could be doing is educating people about to not believe the first thing that they read on social media.
That's already happening here. And the government said it's reviewing the school curriculum to look at how to arm children against disinformation on social media. Susana Mendonça, BBC London.